Hi, what's up everybody? It's Forex24. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through a lighting tutorial in flashing lights on how to configure your light bar. Additional lights we'll take care of in other videos. Today's focus is just going to be on the light bar. I'm going to show you how to get the pattern that you show here, or something like this as well. Just basically the most of the setups that I have on most, if not all, of my vehicles, and that's through all three departments. I'm gonna run with the Crown Vic today, just the big bad Crown Vic. We're gonna go. We're gonna clear it all off of everything that I have, and like I said, we're just gonna be focusing on the light bar today. I'm gonna show you how to get the flashing, the stutter pattern that I have, basically. My favorite light bar is this light bar NR1. Reminds me of a Wayland light bar, Wayland Liberty. That's a lot of what I have up in my area. It's what I'm used to seeing. I think it looks better than a couple of these other ones as well, if you ask me. So I'm going to show you really quick. Um, this is the basic pattern that you get among selecting it. That's number one. These three almost mean absolutely nothing. It just means color. So 2 is going to be all red with the whites and the yellows in the back, and 3 is going to be all blues. And you'll have the same thing with your with the other bars and all of that. So it really doesn't matter which one you select. You're just going to stick with the patterns that are on. Let's just keep that in mind. So we're going to go right into edit, and right away I'm going to clear these out. We're going to turn the lights off. Now my setup, which I'm going to show you how to do right now, has 12 steps. I'm going to show you the basics of how to configure the light bar, how to get it flashing a certain way. It's there's a little bit of a learning curve. It's not the simplest way of getting it done, but once you play around with it for a little bit, you'll understand it. So I'm going to show you just how to get started. Keep in mind that as this diagram right here shows you, the bottom side is always going to be the front. So this side is going to be your right side, this side here, and this side's going to be your left. Keep in mind, on most, not all places, right side's always blue. Now, again, you configure your light bar however you want. And I'm just going to take it slow. I'm going to show you guys basically how the process works, and what different patterns and such are going to look like, and how these steps turn into it. So if you just want to have a cruise light such as this, all you need is one step. And if you turn your lights on, that's what your lights are going to look like. They're going to have that steady burn. Now, to get a flash, that's where you're going to have this next step, and you're going to have it blank. So let's say we wanted to have our cruise flash. We're going to add step 3, and we're going to add the same thing here. And what you want to do to get the flash set twice, you need to add another blank step here. And it's just going to continue to flash. So that's the basic. That's basically how to kind of understand how things are going to go. If you didn't have this blank step here, you can see it's pausing, and you know, if you like that, you like that. But it's pausing because it's staying on consecutively between steps 1 and 3, and that blink is that step here. So if I were to take that step out, you have a useless number 2 step. It's the same. So you need to add those in between to get them to flash. So like I said, we're gonna work on it here. I'm gonna show you how I get my patterns on my cars with this light bar. Like I said, mine go with 12 steps. I'm gonna show you the first 6, and it's basically a repeat of the 6 then to the 12, and it's just gonna be the size of the light bar. And on these step lengths, these timers on lowest setting 1, they move very quickly, as you just saw how fast those were flashing over there. So what we're gonna do is, and one thing other to keep in mind here, is that this far side, even though it would almost have you believe as facing forward and back, it is actually this module right here facing out, right next to this alley light here. All right, so keep that in mind. So the front and back of the bar, what we're looking at right now, is this second one in from these edges here. right? So keep that in mind. Um, it doesn't usually mean too much to me because I'll have kind of that corner and this flashing at the same time, based on certain lighting effects and such. All right, so we're gonna start with that, and we're gonna do the same thing for. We're gonna alternate the steps. So step 1, step 3, step 5 are gonna be the same. Step 2, step 4, and step 6 are gonna be blank for the time being until, and we'll get there. I'll show you what we're gonna do, and this is gonna allow that stutter. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that on, and the reason this is continuing instead of stutter flashing, stopping, and then going again is because there's nothing, it's repeating as soon as it gets here. So remember what I said, we have 12 steps and it's going to end up down here. So if I were to add these 12 steps, now you have this one side flashing, and every time this stops flashing, imagine this side flashing. I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. So now the second set, we're going to go 7 through 12, and we're just going to do the same thing here on this side with red. We're going to repeat. All right, we're gonna hit update. We'll turn our lights on and you'll see what I mean. Now you have your back and forth with flash. Now, I believe it allows you to have 24, I wanna say maybe 36 steps or something. So you can't really go to infinite, or at least last time I checked. I usually don't need too much more than 12. And this isn't all that we can do in our 12 steps, but this is in 12 steps, you can have it looking a lot. It's a lot simpler than most people would make it out to be. So we're going to turn those off really quick. Now here's where we're going to take it into, take a little more depth into it. Now obviously, we can come in here, and what I like to do is add some more so that it's not just a couple flashing over here, and it's not always just kind of a half or like just less than half of the bar flashing at one time, that there's kind of light throughout, if not the whole bar, at least stretching just over half. So what I would do is I'm going to add additional blues on this side. And then on this side, we're going to add the additional reds. We'll hit update. So now we have a little bit more of the bar being used. Now you notice there's only so much that I can do on all these odd number steps where it doesn't look all even and one pattern and two-dimensional. So we're gonna add some more depth, and we're gonna make it look a little more prettier, a little more elegant, add some depth, a little more 3D. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to all these even number steps and these in between. We're gonna add some individual flashers, different modules in that. So in between all these, in between the blues flashing at 1, 3, and 5, 2, 4, and 6 are going to flash the other modules. And then in between 7, 9, and 11 flashing red, 8, 10, and 12 will have the other individual modules flashing. I'm going to show you what I mean right now. So we're going to go right into step 2. Now, remember where your lights are. I'm always going to have this, even though this is the blue side, we're going to add some depth, and we're going to put some red on it. On the rear, I like to use the amber. On the front, I like to use this as the white, the takedown. This is going to be your alleys. So now we're just going to repeat that on step 4. And just double check, make sure you have it all in the right place. And then one more time on step 6. I'm going to hit update, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on one side with it and the other side without, so you can see what I mean about the depth. So you can see there's a lot more going on here. This is just a couple of lights flashing. Here's what it looks like from back here. There's a lot more going on. So we're going to go back into it, and now we're going to do the same thing, just the opposite for the other side. So we're going to go ahead and do our alley, our amber and takedown. And again, since this is the opposite side, we're going to add the blue. So we'll do that again. And one more time. Go ahead and hit update. Now the whole bar is going to have a much deeper lighting effect. And there you have it. And because we alternated the red and blues here, it doesn't just look like a half and half flashing. Because you have the takedowns and alleys, there's a lot more color in here. And the same thing back here, you have the red and the blue over here swapping. And because they're flashing on the odd patterns as well as the even patterns, they're going to be flashing a little more frequently. And then you got the ambers back here, which is a little realistic, and like they have the takedowns and the alleys flashing. And like I said, just adds another depth of color here. So I'm just gonna show you really quick another light bar configuration with that Wayland bar that I have here. And I'm just gonna show you the steps really quick. This is the flash pattern here. It's almost a little simpler, but kind of same concept of what a code 3 Wayland light bar would look like. And like I said, I'm just gonna kind of show you the steps here. Once again, we have a 12-step bar, and your step 1, your step 3 are going to be the same. Your step 5 is going to be different than that. This is your step 2, your step 4, your step 6, 8. So I'm going to take you through the steps really quick and show you how you get this to flash like that. So this is going to be your step 1, your step 2. Now notice what's different here is that all these lights that are disappearing, they're going to flash. So these blues and the left side alley that are disappearing and coming back, those are stuttering right there. That's what you're seeing. This amber and this takedown, they're not flashing so much as they're strobing back and forth. So this is your strobe, and this is more your flash a little bit. It's a slower flash here. And you're going to have a change in pattern down at 4, and then 3, or excuse me, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then 9. And here's where it repeats to do on this side. And everything in between is just getting everything to flash in a different way, in a different manner, in a different pattern to give you this entire effect. Here's 10, it's 11, and here's 12. So you can see you're going to have these two when they flash. When this red lights up, this amber's flashing. This is steady, and then the blue's steady while you have the amber flashing here. So that's when these two pop up. You have, just like I showed you on the other bar, you have these two blues, these two reds, the same thing on the corners, remember that, and it's alternating with the alleys. These are flashing, or strobing I should say, back and forth like I showed you on the other one. And everything else in between is kind of mixed in evenly in a way to have its own pattern mixed in with this pattern. Now, really quickly, I'm going to show you an additional light bar, one, maybe two of them really quick, just to kind of show you, what the game's like here. We'll go with the vector halogen here. Actually, you know what? Does the LED work? I think the LED works just as well. So we'll do this really quick, and you can see there's a whole lot more going on here. You have the rotating lights, you have a rotation speed and color, and you also have a glass color. This can be very helpful if you want to have a little bit of fun with it. And now the other thing to note here is that your lighting sequence with these steps over here, these have nothing to do with the cherries on top. These are the ambers back here, as well as these takedowns flashing back and forth. All right, so if you're gonna have a pattern up on these amber bars or in these takedowns, and let's just show you what that would look like really quick. Let's go ahead and add our 12. And we're gonna make this very simple, very quickly. Don't spend too much time on it. And now I don't know if you can see that over there, but this strobe that I just clicked on right here, this one has a red glass cover, and that's what we're gonna get to in a second. It's just all about figuring out over here which number is what. And it usually goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. So we'll update our changes, and now we have these flashing. Now, obviously, we can update the different colors of these. We'll stick with what we got here. However, what we'll do is we'll add a glass color. The blue's always on this side. That's 8's going to change to the blue over here. And now, like we have over here, that's your red glass cover, but the lights are still flashing white. Now, back here, like I said, you got your ambers back here. So we're going to go ahead and just the same way we did the other ones. Going to add our pattern. And we're adding the in-betweens, the even numbers here, to act as our in-betweens to get that stutter, strobe, flash, whatever you want to call it, effect, that pattern. So now while these two are flashing back and forth, you have your ambers back here flashing as well. And again, you can see you can make them any color you want here. There's that green flash right there. These do not have glass cover colors to choose from, but these cherries on top do. I'm going to show you those now as well. So like I said, usually right here, and there's an easy way to check, 1 usually starts right here. Now you can see the slide bar goes both ways, and you got a 0 in the middle. So that's going to be your steady burn with no rotation. Now if you drag it to the right, you have a fast rotation clockwise. If you drag it to the left, you have a -10 fast rotation in counterclockwise. And you can adjust this to spin as slow as fast as you want, or not at all, depending through 1 and 10. Once again, now, we're going to go back to our glass cover. So this is going to be number 1. And I can change that to red. And I can also change the light in here, it's currently blue still, to red. And then this one right here, I can change the light color to blue. And then I would have to go to the glass cover. You don't have to, and go to red. Or blue, excuse me. All right, so now I have those. Let's say I'm happy with this, the overall pattern of colors here. Now I just have to adjust the speed of my flashers. There we go. Now this is, you see it's a palindrome, 464, 8, 464. So now we have it even flashing, and this is what that bar would look like right here. So that's how to get that bar situated as you want to. It's like I said, it's not the most effective way of getting it done. There is that learning curve. Give yourself a little bit of patience. Once you kind of understand how it works, it's a lot of fun. Trust me. Last thing I'm going to show you really quick. We're going to do it. Let's say on this bar right here. I'm not too fond of this bar. It's a little too low profile for me. see the material color on this bar is the entire bar. I'm gonna stick with the white. I'm gonna show you what to do if you want to have a say traffic advisor pattern on let's just say the rear of your bar. So we're gonna start on step number 1, and remember what I said, this is the front, this is the back. Let's just say we're gonna start here. We're gonna move outward. Update, lights on. So now you have this flashing as your traffic. Now it doesn't look exactly like one, does it? So what can we do? Now you can add an additional step in between all these to make each 2 steps long, or remember what we talked about before, drag the time slider. Since this is an even step all around, and it's going to take a lot longer to go through each step. You can see it's starting to slow down. So let's say we put this on 30. You know what, that's usually they update while you're sliding it. And it's a little slow. So we'll go down to 6. And you see what I mean? You know, you can have a step where you got 4 steps on this one, then it's 4 steps on this one, 4 steps on you don't need that. With this time slider, you can adjust that. So you can use minimal steps. Now let's even go down to 4, and I'm going to show you a neat trick. And what we're going to do is on 4, you have these outer ones being the last in the sequence, and then it repeats. So what we're going to do, we're going to have them flash. So we're going to add a few more steps. We're going to have them flash the 3 times. So 4 is there. 5's your in between. Now you have 6, and we're going to keep that on 1. 7's your in between. 8. And then we're going to have one more in between where it flashes and then repeats. And it's as simple as that. That's how you would get it to, you know, there's a little more depth in this. It's not just, you know, one light moving to the next. Now it looks like you put a lot more effort in than you actually did. And it adds a lot more depth to the vehicle. Now, again, keep in mind if you're going to do some sort of TA bar, something like this on your light bar, the game has not evolved to the point where you can manipulate different stage patterns or anything like that. So when you turn your lights on, what you see right here is what you're going to get. And, you know, keep in mind all vehicles, almost all vehicles, not all, will have the TA bar in the back window or somewhere else as well that you can manipulate to center out right or left. So, you know, this is just, you know, to get fancy, to, you know, show you something extra that you could do. Well, like I said, that's going to be it for this video on my Lightbar tutorials. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, message me with any questions. Be more than happy to help anybody out with anything. Like I said in other videos, I'm going to show you how to configure other lights on your vehicle, such as the ones all around, these individual bars, the ones in your windshield, the ones on the side runners, the ones in the back. I'm going to show you, it gets a little more in depth. I'm going to show you how to get some patterns going with that. Get them all synced up with your vehicle. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day.